money, food, sleep, music, parents. I saw you, ayam gepuk. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Do you feel that you could actually relate to some of your friends' feedback? Yeah. What struck the most to me is that to see your feedback in answering what is emotion. Definitely interesting to see this feedback. However, today, I hope this feedback or your perspective about this topic today may somehow change due to whatever theory or content that you will learn today, right? Are you ready for that? Okay, shall we begin? Okay, so let's continue. So, in terms of measuring emotion, psychologists measure emotion through several approach or ways. So, number one, called as self-report, which is asking people to describe their own emotion. So, like you just now, I'm asking you what you understand about emotion. But what if I change the question? How do you feel right now? What is your emotion at the moment? I give you any survey for you to answer or any assessment. 1 to 10 scale. How anxious do you feel right now? 10 is the highest.
10.
What is your scale? 10. So you're telling me you're extremely nervous?
Yes.
Okay. And number 2, behavioral observation. So looking at one person's body language. Okay, could be facial expression. So example, psychologist notices that a student avoid eye contact, looking a little bit trembling, while in the process of answering a certain set of question or exam. So how you may perhaps conclude that the student is at the moment feel nervous or anxious. Remember this image? If you don't remember, I have a video. Perhaps it's for your better understanding. So let's take a look at the video. Next.
To stay afloat. As you fight the current, your sympathetic nervous system or your fight or flight response kicks in. You are in survival mode and your body prepares for conflict. Your body signals danger by releasing adrenaline. Your heart starts racing. Your pupils expand and your mouth becomes dry. Your airways open up, sending as much oxygen as possible to your brain to keep you alert. And other bodily processes switch gears to help in your time of need. Your stomach and intestines stop digesting. Your bladder relaxes. Your reproductive system limits blood flow. And your liver releases glucose to give you a burst of energy. All these changes happen so quickly, you may not even be aware of them. When you make it back to shore, you start to calm down and relax. This is your parasympathetic nervous system, or your rest and digest process at work. Those bodily processes that were at full attention before change course. Your heart rate slows down, your breathing returns to normal, your pupils constrict, and you start to salivate. As your body realizes it's no longer under threat, your stomach and intestines begin to digest. Your bladder constricts, and your reproductive system increases its blood flow. In other words, your body returns to its natural state.
I would like to pick randomly. Okay? So let's have Hong, Haris, Hong, Haris. Please come forward. And then I would like to call, let's have, I hear someone say Abhishek. Abhishek, come forward, Abhishek. And also, let's have Danish. Yes, come forward. Please give me a moment to brief them, and after this, you're going to watch the role play. Okay. explain. How do you feel? Before you began just now.
I was angry at Darcy for calling my name.
Oh, you're angry, and then?
Only angry at her.
Only angry,
Yeah.
okay. And the moment he start to approach you, how do you feel? Neutral. Oh, okay. Wow, this is a very calm attitude. Fighter. How about you? How do you feel? Imagine that you are a fighter on the ring, in the ring just now.
Yeah, I feel panic.
Panic. Notice how he was having a hard time to have a proper breathing now. See? So how do you feel right now? I noticed some physiological or physical reaction. Yes. Could you please share with us? How do you feel?
I feel my heart is beating very fast.
Heart beating fast, and then
My sweat is coming out.
I can see the sweat. You can see too, isn't it? Right. But how do you feel before, and how do you feel now? If you look to compare.
Before I feel very calm. Then after that I feel relief.
Okay, right. Once you're done, you relieve. But during the fight, you were feeling like nervous. You're afraid to hurt another person also, isn't it? So you have a lot happening on your mind, but your body started to show all this reaction. But now, do you feel better? Do you feel like the breathing is okay? You start to pick up your normal breathing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you notice the difference. Oh, the referee trying to check, yeah? Thank you very much, round of applause for that. Thank you. This is another important part, which is to talk about theoretical perspective. You can look at emotion, you can look at all this reaction through the lens of theory. So the first theory that I would like to share with you today is the James Lange theory of emotion. So what is it about? It's basically about the idea that perception of bodily changes provide the feeling aspect of emotion. I will explain in detail later, but let's take a look at this one by one. So usually what's going to happen, we will start off with a certain situation or event that happened. Number two, appraisal, the cognitive response or aspect of our emotion. And then number three, action, physiological and behavioral aspect. And last but not least, perception of the action, which is feeling aspect of the emotion. This may look a little bit complex, but let's break it down a little bit more. My question to you, we cry because we are sad, or we are sad because we cry? We cry because we're sad. Are you sure? Right. So basically, James Lange theory says that we don't cry because we're sad. Guys, we don't cry because we're sad. We feel sad because we cry. Wait, now you ask me to wait for you. Okay, wait. Let's.
What happened to you?
I believe that majority, if we talk about understanding outside of psychology context, before you learn about psychology, you may think the same, which is you thought that you cry because you are sad. But in reality, we feel sad because we cry. Let's take a look at the next slide. So you okay, right. Let me explain what this is all about, right? So first thing first, remember just now I mentioned about event happened, something happened. So imagine that you are in the cinema watching a horror movie. Okay, watching a horror movie. As you can see, this film lah, some of you are scared of clown, for example. You're scared of horror film. So that's the incident or the event that happened. So you witness an external stimulus. Watching the horror movie is the external stimulus. And then number two, what happened is that your body started to change, which is the stimulus lead to physiological response. You start to be sweaty, okay? And then your breathing started to become a little bit, heavy, okay? So that's your physiological response after that event happened. And then last but not least, emotion is felt. Now you feel how you feel. So for example, your brain notice those bodily changes and label that as an emotion. So that's the reason why when you cry, and then you define, that cry equals to what emotion? Because some people, they may cry, but they interpret that as they are happy. Happy tears. Isn't it? But some people, even that they are crying, and then they feel like very heavy on their chest, difficulty in breathing, equals to the emotion is a little bit what we could call as sadness, okay? Or you're feeling depressed at that point of time, right? So again, We cry because we're sad, or we're sad because we cry?
We're sad because
We sad because we cry. Because event happened, physically you will feel something, and then the outcome of that physical changes causes you to interpret that as an emotion. Okay, are we good? Another theory that I would like to share with you, called as Schechter and Singer's theory of emotion, or called as two-factor theory of emotion. Why two-factor? Because according to the theories, emotion equals to how much you are aroused, or aroused. And plus with cognitive appraisal, what kind, what is it, right? I'll break it down a little bit more later. So according to Schechter and Singer's theory, autonomic arousal determines the intensity of our emotion, but does not determine which emotion occurs. We identify an emotion on the basis of how we perceive the situation. So let's take a look at the next one. Right. So imagine after this, you're going to do a presentation, isn't it? Okay. But in the case of you are going to present, or you're going to be talking to a group of people, a large crowd. So that's the event. Something happened. And then next, arousal level. At this point of time, the question is, do you feel like overwhelmed? Or you kind of like calm and composed, you look forward to the event? Could be a mix of both. And your sympathetic nervous system start to kicks in, and then changing your heart rate, breathing, your sweat, and then the degree of arousal tell you how intense the emotion is. So remember we talked about arousal just now? So the question is whether the arousal factor here is very high intensity, or just medium, or low. Which one? Okay? Because next, it's going to be, you're going to talk about, or you're going to take a look at the cognitive appraisal, where your brain looks at the situation and decides which emotion is it. So just now, when you're telling me, it could be either you're excited, or you're too scared, very anxious, very nervous. So the outcome definitely will be different. So the next one, as you can see, if you think, for example, this is dangerous, high alert, danger, danger, I might embarrass myself. So you will label this emotion as fear. Or I can't wait to impress everyone. You look forward to this moment and you label this feeling as excitement. So arousal alone doesn't tell which emotion you are feeling. You need to interpret the situation. So that's why when you feel how you feel, okay, the arousal, it's either the intensity is high or low, but it's not enough. Right? As a data, it's not enough because you need to interpret the high and low. What is it? What is it about? Okay? So cognition decides the label, and arousal decides the strength. Okay? Whether it's high or low, and then that will somehow lead to your interpretation. Okay, next. Do we have a few basic emotions? What do you think? I saw you just now when you answered in Slido. Majority answered anger. Okay, some of you answered sad. So, can I see your facial expression if you're happy? Oh, happiness comes with happiness. Number 2, how about sadness? Oh, some of you can't, usually can't show, Number 3, how about anger? English, are you angry or you're annoyed? Which one? Number 4, fear. Show me your fear face. Imagine you are scared, fear. Some of you showing the mixed signal, mixed expression. And then how about disgust? You laugh and you will feel disgusted. And then last but not least, how about surprise? Immediately body language. Okay, so alright, attention please. So Paul Ekman did his study specifically on this basic emotion. So even looking at the image without the label, I believe that perhaps you could tell me what are their emotions based on the facial expression. Okay, face number 1. What is your response? Happy. Happy, yeah? Number 2, angry, anger. Number 3, sadness. Number 4, surprise. Number 5, disgust. Number 6, fear. Wow, great, awesome. After learning only few slides, you already so good emotions.